Hey everybody, it's Instructor Hustle with Open Arms ENT. Today I'm going to be discussing my new EDC. Before I get into that, before I started carrying my current firearm, I was carrying a Glock 40, which is the Glock 23 Generation 4. And I carried this gun for about 13 or 14 years. I carried it on duty and I was carrying it off duty. I was in law enforcement. I was a firearms educational specialist. So I trained the officers, made sure they qualified twice a year. I qualified twice a year, scoring 50 out of 50, doing great with this firearm. I've been on different training events with this firearm, different type of indoor, outdoor training, different simulations, and just it performed well with me. I had no problems with the performance of this Glock 23. But a few things changed over the years. For one, maybe about a year or so ago, I noticed that I was having a sharp pain right in my waist area where the firearm is carried inside of the holster. So at first I didn't really pay no attention. Then I noticed like, okay, this sharp pain isn't going away. When I take the firearm out, the pain went away. I can also say it probably has something to do with just wearing a duty belt. If you want security and law enforcement, you got to wear a duty belt. On that duty belt, you got all kinds of things. You got handcuffs, you got pepper spray or mace or freeze plus P. You got a taser, you got a firearm, you got all kinds of stuff. So that's weight within itself. So sometimes you'll see people in law enforcement, they'll have the thigh holster, or they'll have a shoulder strap. They'll try to put that weight somewhere else so it's not just sitting all right there on their waist. So I'm sure some of it came to that. But I put another firearm that was lighter than the Glock 23 on, and I didn't feel that pain. So I said, okay, that's one strike against the Glock 23, and maybe I need to consider another EDC. Secondly, I was doing some outdoor training. And when I was doing this outdoor training, I took a Glock 17, which I have right here, the Glock 17 Generation 4, which is a 9mm. So with this training that I was doing, I was by myself this day, and I was loading up the Glock 17, and I was just doing rapid firing toward the target. And I noticed when I had the 17, the 9mm, as I'm rapid firing going toward the target, there was not a lot of movement in my hand grip. Versus when I transformed and switched to the Glock 23, and I did that same going toward the target, rapid firing, I had to kind of readjust my grip every shot. So if someone was looking at me, they couldn't really tell, but I knew that the 40 caliber, which is a slightly bigger bullet, had more recoil, especially when I was doing rapid firing. So basically, with the Glock 17, I was able to get out more rounds faster and more accurate with the 17 with the 9mm versus the Glock 23, which is a 40. So I said that was like a big deal for me when I realized that I'm more efficient and more accurate with a 9mm than I am with a 40 caliber. Even though I've been carrying this 40 caliber for the past 13, 14, possibly 15 years on and off duty, I'm thinking this was the gun for me. When I was doing training, I realized that no, I might need to lower the round down to a 9mm. Now the thing with the Glock 17 for me, it's a full-size gun, and I'm not really into carrying full-size guns. It's just kind of bulky, it kind of sticks out a little bit, even though they're great for ammunition capacity, accuracy, and distance. It's just a little bit too big for me to carry. So I had to come up with a solution. I mean, I had for a second, I carried a SIG Sauer P365, the subcompact. It just happened to be in inventory, so I carried it for a minute. Didn't really like it, too small. I carried the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, the one that hold 13 rounds. I actually kind of liked how it felt in my hand, but might have been a little bit too small as well. And then when I did some rapid firing with it, I just didn't like how it felt in my hand. So ultimately, I end up coming up with this here, the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. Take the one out the chamber because it was loaded. So the reason I came up with the Springfield Hellcat Pro is probably for a couple different reasons. For one, it's lightweight. It's a little thinner than the Glock. It fits great into my hand. I'm an FFL dealer, so I sell firearms as well. And I've heard nothing but great things about the Hellcat. The subcompact Hellcat is, again, a little bit too small, and they compare that to the SIG Sauer P365. But the Hellcat Pro, they will probably compare more to the SIG Sauer X or the XL, which I like those as well, but the price is just a little bit more than the Hellcat Pro. So kind of one thing that sold me on it, I know an individual that carried a Hellcat Pro. This guy about my age, middle-aged 40s, family man, working every day, ended up telling me that he got into a situation where he had to use his firearm in self-defense. This particular day, he had two firearms on him. He had the Springfield Hellcat Pro, and then he had a Taurus G2C. Long story short, some shots got to being fired at him and the people that he was with. He was the only one that was armed, and in self-defense, he had to return fire. So he said at first he pulled the Taurus G2C out. He said after a couple of rounds fired, the firearm jammed on him. Lucky for him, he had his Hellcat Pro. So when he pulled the Hellcat Pro, he just said that boy sang. He said it sung. It just lit up the whole block. It did what it had to do. It performed well in that situation. To the point where I think he had to actually, he hit the target, and the person may have been deceased. They may have died in that situation. The individuals that he was using self-defense against. And if you know, in a situation dealing with a firearm in self-defense, regardless of the circumstance, police are going to take that firearm as evidence. So they took his Hellcat Pro. He was ended up found not being charged for the situation, but they held onto his firearm, as they do a lot of times. So he was then able to go back out because he wasn't charged. He still had a CPL. He was able to go back out, and he said the first thing he went to do is buy another Springfield Hellcat Pro. So I just felt that the fact that he used it in a real life situation and it performed well, and not only performed well, but when it was confiscated from him, he made sure that he went out and legally purchased another one. So that always been in the back of my mind. So it was either me get the Springfield Hellcat Pro or probably the SIG Sauer P365 XL. And again, the price on the XL is a little bit higher than the Hellcat Pro. So I chose to go with the Hellcat Pro. It is optic ready, but as you see, I do not have an optic on it. It comes with two magazines. This one comes with the 17 and the 15 round mag. I have the 17 round mag in here now. Normally I keep the 15 round mag in here because it's a little smaller grip and is more concealable. But at this moment, I got the 17 round mag in. But I don't have an optic on it. I'm not really into the bells and whistles. I'm more of a practical person. And I feel like in a real life situation of self-defense, where most shootings are going to happen close, it's a good chance I'm probably not going to get a chance to extend my arms and look through an optic sight and look at a red dot and put it on a target. It's possible, but the chances are slim. So I'm pretty good with the factory sights that come with the firearm. So that was the same way with the Glock. my Glock 23. I never put any other sights on it. I never changed these sights. If anything, I probably should have put some nice sights on it, but I was pretty cool with the rear U shape and the front white dot. Again, I just feel like all those different, and it's weird because I'm an FFL. I sell firearms. I sell all the accessories and the bells and whistles. But for me, practically, I just feel like I'm probably not going to use it. I'm just going to be spending money on something that's going to collect dust. Or I'm going to use it for training purposes, but in real life situations, I'm probably not going to use it. Now, it's different if I got an AR, because yes, in the AR, you do want to get your rifle ready or your AR pistol ready in case you got to shoot at a long distance, because that's what they're designed for. But for a pistol, for me, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to shoot it quick. It may be one-handed. Most likely, it's going to be within a close distance. So I should be able to hit that target without looking at any optic on the top of the slide. Today, I'm going to go to the range and I'm going to be shooting the Hellcat Pro. I just started to carry it and I haven't really shot it yet. So I'm gonna put at least 100 rounds through it myself and see what it do. Again, I enjoy the Glock 17. I love shooting the Glock 17. It's just a little bit too big for me. And also I think I'm at the point now where I'm getting away from carrying a Glock as an EDC. My Hellcat Pro, I went and got a holster. This is my first time with a leather holster. I feel like I'm getting old because I got a leather holster. But I don't like the nylon holsters. And then the more harder holsters sometimes they kind of also, I feel it on my side when I'm in the car. So I chose to go with this leather holster. It still clicks to my belt and I could pull the firearm out and the holster stays right there. So yeah, we're gonna head over to the range and test out this Springfield Army Hellcat Pro, see what it do, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. So I'm here at the range, about to try out my Springfield Hellcat Pro, 9mm. I got some laser ammunition, full metal jackets. Got about 120 rounds I'm gonna put through it right now. Maybe put more, maybe put less. I'll put at least those for sure. Target right here. extended 17 round mag. That was the 15 round mag that I used first. Changed my target on so many times. So the other day I was at the range and I got to shoot my Springfield Hellcat Pro. I did a video right after shooting it, but for some reason it didn't record. So I'm just gonna let y'all know a quick rundown on my experience shooting it for the first time. I shot maybe about 100 and close to 150 rounds out of it. It performed pretty well. I did have one, it seems like a failure to fire. The round went to the chamber, it would not fire. I took the round out. I did not actually see, I don't know if it struck the primer or not, but I put it back in, tried to fire it again, it wouldn't shoot, so I just took the round out, and I'm gonna blame it on the bad round. Besides that, it shot well. It did get extremely warm, borderline hot after about 100 rounds or so. It was hot in the range that day, maybe close to probably 90 degrees at the range. I started to almost sweat. So I'm gonna blame it on, the humidity, the heat, and I did put some rounds through it and pretty quickly. Normally I'm probably not gonna be shooting that many rounds in a real life situation, but you never know. But it did get extremely warm. It still performed well. My shots were pretty good. I got to get used to the sights on there. They got the front and rear sights, the night front sight. I got to get used to that. I'm really familiar with the Glock sights. So, but besides that, it did pretty well. So yeah, I would recommend the Hellcat Pro. Springfield is a great manufacturer. I got a AR, my AR-15. The first one that I had purchased was a Springfield. I got the same Vic, Chamberlain 5.56, I think 7.5 inch barrel. Never had too many problems with that. So I am a fan of Springfield firearms. So there you have it. Springfield Hellcat Pro, Chamberlain 9mm. Like I said, it comes with 15 round and a 17 round magazine. I don't have a thumb safety. I believe they may have one with a thumb safety, but I don't do thumb safeties on my firearms. I'm a firm believer in you are the safety at the end of the day. So appreciate y'all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Open Arms ENT. Hope y'all have a great day. Peace.